Welcome to the Purpose Driven Mom Show, episode 512. Today, I'm going to give you some tips on how you can make progress when you only have 15 minutes. And if we've never met, I'm Cara Harvey. I'm the author of the book, The 15-Minute Formula. Literally, what I have taught over 25,000 moms is how do you make progress in just 15 minutes and actually get things done. I hope that you leave today feeling energized, feeling less overwhelmed. I know it's Maycember. I know we're trying to get through the end of the year. We're actually getting ready for our Purpose Driven Mom Summit coming up. There's a lot of things happening, but just know that the time you have, we can make something happen, right? We can make magic. Because what often happens is you finally get a second to sit down. You're like, cool, I actually have a 15-minute break before somebody needs a snack or a ride or help finding their shoes. But then your brain starts to think, it's not enough time, right? I don't have enough time to get it done. Or 15 minutes, it just isn't enough time to make actual progress. So I'm just going to scroll my phone. But what if we could switch your mindset around the whole 15-minute thing? What if we can say that if you intentionally use 15 minutes well, you can change everything. There is so much that you will be able to do, not only physically, but the mindset behind it. Because 15 minutes counts. The thing that I love about 15 minutes and the 15-minute formula, and I write about it in the book, and I talk about it all the time, is that 15 minutes is a small enough time for us to think that I can just get started. It's only 15 minutes. I can, let me just do this for 15 minutes and then I can move on. But it's also enough time to get a lot done if you're focused and intentional. You will be surprised at how much you can actually get done in 15 minutes when you're focused. A lot of times, us moms, we'll dismiss small pockets of time over a cold, of course. We think that small pockets of time are not enough because we live in this black or white, all or nothing thinking. If I don't have 6 hours to sit down and declutter my whole garage, I shouldn't get started. If I don't have 30 minutes to do my Bible study, if I can't read quietly for an hour, it doesn't count. We wind up waiting for the quote, perfect uninterrupted block. Newsflash, not spoiler, doesn't happen. There is a rare bout of time we will have that we will ever classify as perfect. So, what if instead we looked at the progress we made over the perfection of, I don't have the whole day to clean the garage, so I shouldn't get started, right? Because consistency will beat out intensity anytime. Showing up over time creates that flywheel effect. The flywheel where you're like slowly, 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 and then all of a sudden it goes super fast and then you're grooving. Showing up in small chunks is better than not showing up at all. And if you can wrap your mind around that, you will be able to make so much progress. 15 minutes is how I wrote the book. And I think that people forget that you can really make progress because it feels like such an inconsequential amount of time. This is not a let's hustle. This is a let me add in a 15-minute system. Let me go through and see what can I do. I literally wrote my book, pockets of time. I decluttered most of my house, pockets of time. Planned parties, pockets of time. Recording this podcast episode, pockets of time. So instead of the I don't have enough time thoughts, my hope is that at the end of today's episode, you're going to go from I don't have any time to what can I do with the time that I have and ditch the perfectionism that holds you back from allowing it to be enough. We're going to put show notes over at a purposedrivenmom.com/podcast 512. So make sure you head over and check those out. All right. So what can you do? What can you actually get done in 15 minutes? I'm going to break it down into batch categories of potentially your life, but mine. And, take it or leave it so that you can start to wrap your head around it. What I'd love for you to do is if you are at a place where you can start jotting down some notes for yourself of what can I do in my 15 minutes. All right. I'll start with business and work because I have multiple jobs. So I'm going to talk to you a little bit about how I get that done, right? In 15 minutes, I can sit and outline this podcast episode, right? It takes me a little bit of time to do, but I really can do it in just 15 minutes. Now, the recording piece probably takes about double that, maybe like 30 to record, go back, stop, start, whatever I'm doing with the recording, but I can still do it in a small chunk. Other things that I kind of put in when I have 15 minutes is emails. I can sit and do 15-minute email sprints pretty much multiple times a day. In the Purpose Driven Mom Club, which is my coaching program, we do co-working every week where I guide you through getting things actually done. People were like, please just come to my house, hold my hand and like help me. Well, that's how I do it. We put on a 15-minute timer, and my 15 minutes is always the first 15 minutes, at least it's always admin. It's always checking my email and getting those things done. I really can get through my emails in 15 minutes if I'm doing them multiple times. And here's the other thing I like about the 15-minute concept and philosophy and framework is that oftentimes I will use these 15-minute small chunks that I have to do the stuff that I don't really want to spend time doing later. If I know that I need an hour of uninterrupted time to get some creative work done, well, then I would rather use 15 minutes of quick sprints to get the other stuff done, right? So, drafting out my social media content, if I want to sit and pull up a calendar and be like, all right, let me pop in some ideas, brain dumping some things that I have to do for a product, for an offer, checking in with my community groups, right? These are all things I can do in 15 minutes. Pin some pins to Pinterest, draft out one email. When you really look at your business, you can probably find that there are multiple tasks you can do in 15 minutes or less. And then your brain will start to be like, okay, this is less overwhelming, right? And then we kind of marry it with my batching method to figure out how we can theme out our blocks and get it done. Now, home management is the biggest one I use the 15-minute formula for because I don't want to do it. I don't like to clean. I don't like to cook. I don't enjoy taking care of my home. It's just not a top priority for me. But guess what? There are things I have to get done: laundry and dishes and dinner. It has to happen, right? So many of my home management tasks, because they're my least favorable, happen in 15-minute pockets. Right? It takes me 15 minutes to mop my floors. Like maybe I don't do the best job, but I can mop them in 15 minutes. Same, sweep my floors, another 15 minutes. Doing the dishes, moving over the laundry. I cannot think of a home task that's not like super, super deep cleaning that I can't do in 15 minutes. So the way that I work this one, so the business stuff's a little different for me. The business stuff, my 15-minute mindset is like, okay, I only have 15 minutes. What can I get done? Right? It's like, let me see if I can beat the clock. The home stuff is it's only 15 minutes, just get started. So you see how I have that different mindset about it because I really don't want to do any of it. I can also do a quick reset, which we do daily in my home to just reset the space. Nice 15 minutes there. I can fold a load of laundry, and I want to call you on this if you're like, no, it takes too long. Time yourself. If you're struggling with laundry, time yourself. How long does it really take to fold and put away one load of laundry? Just one. I bet it's 15 minutes or less. So once my head wrapped around that, I was like, well, easy, I'll just do that. And I think we can, again, it's just 15 minutes. I could just have to get started. Something like meal prepping. Great example. This morning, I knew I normally eat like the same thing for breakfast. Creature of habit here, right? Right now, I have like a hyper fixation that I'll eat for like a whole month. In the winter, it was oatmeal and peanut butter and fruit, just because like I love the creamy and the warm. In the summer, now that we're hitting summer, it's like egg whites with cheese, some potatoes, and fruit. Right? That's like my breakfast. Anyway, I have to make the potatoes. So this morning, I had gotten the kids ready for school and I had looked because I always have my breakfast after I bring my kids back. And I noticed that I only had one serving of potatoes left. So I was waiting for my daughter because she takes her time in the morning. We're working on it. This morning, I like lost again. Productivity coach still lose it to my kids when they're like taking forever. I'm like, we do the same thing every day. Like, come on, come on. But I noticed that I could have used some potatoes. So what I could have done is been like, I'll do it later. But instead, while I was waiting for her to come down to help her with her hair, I was like, let me get these potatoes in the oven, right? So I was able to chop the potatoes and get them in the oven. And I timed it out nicely that by the time I got them in, I actually put them in before I got in the shower, actually. I put them in before I got in the shower. So by the time I'm done in the shower and we leave for school, it's like exactly 40 minutes. So it was perfect. So I got them done. But the point is, the chopping took 15 minutes. So instead of saying I'm just going to do it for later, it's what can I do now? Same cookies. I make a lot of chocolate chip cookies, like homemade. It's not hard to do. It only takes 15 minutes. So what are the things you can do in your home? My personal growth, I wish, I wish I had the time I had before. Like that time I had before when I had just me and my stepson, or when Ari was born, or even Isaiah, and we were just less full on our schedule. But I really don't have a lot of time for personal growth right now. And I can tell like when it makes a difference, but I still try to get it in because I know it's important. So I read a chapter, 15 minutes, whatever I can get done 5 days a week in the morning, right? I do that because I know that if I was waiting for the perfect time, to have a full hour to finish my book or get started or whatever, it would never ever come. So I tell myself, whatever I can get read this morning is what I get read, and it's better than nothing. I listen to something while I'm getting ready. I don't take very long. I'm pretty low maintenance. I can get ready after my shower in like 15 minutes, like honestly, for real, like a little bit of skincare, a little bit of makeup, get dressed, and I'm good. So I listen to a podcast. I listen to something that fills me up. You can journal, you can brain dump. If you're feeling that overwhelm, you can do that in 15 minutes and get your head in the game, or just moving your body, right? I like to get a longer workout in the morning, but if I can just get my body moving for 15 minutes to take care of myself, that matters. Don't discredit it. The other thing that I think is really important to get done in 15 minutes is relationship building, because these are the little things that they don't take a lot of time to do, but they feel daunting in our head. So an example is like this morning. I was getting ready and I try to talk to my dad like once a week, and I was like, "Oh, I haven't talked to him. I should give him a call." And if I don't do it all week, I'm gonna be thinking I should call my dad. I should call my dad. I should call my mom. I should call my grandma. I should text this person. I should reach out. I should. So it owns so much real estate in my head. Whereas if I just took the time to do it. So I thought, all right, I'm doing my hair. I was like straightening my hair. I said, let me call my dad now, right? I have 15 minutes. Now I typically prefer to take all my calls like in the car because if I'm alone. But I knew I wasn't going to have that time. So I said, let me just do it now while I'm getting these things done so that I can just check in with him, right? Sending those check in texts, one on ones with your kids, even 15 minutes of my phone's away, you're off tech, and we're playing a game together or we're doing something can be enough to get started. Yes. Do we crave more? Do we want more? Do I want to have, my sister and I were just talking about this yesterday. Like, we do a sister weekend instead of a holiday gift. So instead of Christmas gifts for each other, we book a hotel for the weekend in the new year when like it's not as busy, which is never, but we book it and then we go away for a weekend and it's just the best. It's the best. It's the best. I love it so much. But we normally do it in February. We weren't able to do it. So we're not doing it until the summer this year because we just could not find a time that worked for us. And we were both saying how much we both just need that so much to have a whole weekend, to not be mom, to not be needed, to just take off. But unfortunately, that's not the reality we have. So the question becomes, what can I fit in 15 minutes to reset myself instead of being this victim of, well, I don't have a whole day off. I don't have this. And listen, I get caught on it too, right? Like if when it just slows down, it's not going to slow down. So what can you do intentionally to put these 15 minutes in? All right. So I want to talk to you about the 15-minute strategy. This is like my signature thing that I teach so that you can figure out how you can fit this into your day. Okay. First thing, and one of the most important, is intentionality. And it is deciding before the time comes. Don't waste the 15 minutes you have figuring out what you should be doing in a short 15-minute block. What I really recommend you do is keep a 15-minute task list. Now, we have a microwave minute checklist over on the site that you get, and that's something that, we share, and there's small tasks you can do. You can use that, or you can make one for these different categories of your life. Think of it as a menu. Oh, I notice I have 15 minutes. What can I get done? The other thing about pre-deciding is making sure that your goals are broken down in a way that sets you up for success. So I am decluttering my office. It's my big goal right now. I didn't get a lot of decluttering done this week. I was like really sick. Of course, I caught my kids cold because they just sneeze in your face. And here we are. But I have it broken down into 15-minute tasks. So if I have finished up my workday before I go pick up my kids and I have 15 minutes, my options include scroll my phone, or can I just take 15 minutes and declutter the one shelf, that one section, that one thing? So predetermine your 15-minute tasks, whether they're a general menu of like business, relationship building, home, it's admin, whatever. A lot of the admin tasks, you can make a whole list for yourself to pull from. Like, oh, look, I do have 15 minutes right now. Let me go reset my calendar for next month, right? Like, what can I get done? And or you can break your goals down specifically into 15-minute tasks before the week begins so that when you have that 15 minutes, you know what to do. You sit down and you're like, I'm going to get this done. The other thing I want you to do, step 2 here, is remove any obstacles and friction, okay? Plan ahead as much as you can. So I mentioned breaking your goals down, but also set yourself up for success. If you know that one of your 15-minute tasks is decluttering, make sure you have your 3 decluttering boxes, right? Keep, save, and triage. My triage is like, I'm not sure what I'm going to do with this. Not keep, save, and triage. Keep, trash, or donate, and triage. Because when you triage, it's like, I'm not ready to make a full decision. So I'm just going to put it in this box for now and make a decision later. But at least I've made a first decision, right? Have those ready to go. Okay. Open up documents if you know you need them. Have papers ready to go. Like, An example is I have one of my side jobs. I have to scan over surveys that the girls completed after I teach with them, send them over to my boss, and things like that. Doesn't take me too long. For some, my scanner has been wonky. It should take me like 3 minutes, but I have to now scan them individually. It is what it is. I don't know what's going on with it, but whatever. The point is, I know that today, one of my 15-minute tasks is to get these surveys emailed over to my boss. I know this. So to set myself up for success, I have the surveys sitting on my desk. They're right here. I don't have to go look for them. I don't have to go find them. I know that it's a task I'm going to do. Okay. Set out any materials that you can to make it easy. If one of your 15-minute tasks is you're going to go for a walk, put your sneakers by the door, right? Sleep in your workout clothes. Get the friction gone now. And then step 3, set a timer. The gamification of this is huge. You want to beat the clock. The urgency it gives your brain, it makes it fun as, cleaning a toilet or whatever can be, but it gives you focus. It's contained, it's doable. I only have to go for 15 minutes. And my brain always is kind of competitive. So I'm always like, what can I get done in 15 minutes, right? Can I get this done in 15 minutes? So I always recommend setting a timer. What the timer also does for you is it allows you to pay attention. I said before, how long does it really take you to fold a load of laundry, right? Look, fold the laundry and see. This is where, honestly, all of this started was my dishwasher, right? I realized that I was complaining all day about loading the dishes. Whereas it really only takes me 5 minutes to unload my dishwasher, right? And so once I realized that, I realized that there were so many other things that I was making so big in my mind. So set a timer and go for it. And then step 4 is, what is the win? It's not, I'm going to declutter. I have 5 shelves here, right? That's my goal in the next few days, is to get these 5 shelves done. My goal in my 15 minutes is not get the 5 shelves done. My goal is get one thing. It's not finish the project. It's draft out the podcast episode. It's clean the counter. It's write one email. When you can define that, and we do this in the co-working, I'm always like, put in the chat one thing you're going to finish in 15 minutes. This way you can see success. You can have the win. If you show up to co-working, if you do an hour of co-working with somebody else, that's 4 15-minute blocks. You can have 4 micro wins in that time, or you can hem and haw about, I don't know at the time. I'm not sure what to do. I'm feeling stuck, right? I want you to create systems that change the way you look at your time. Not that you're doing anything wrong, but perhaps you're just looking at your time in a way that isn't setting you up for success because you're stuck in perfectionism, right? And then stop when the timer's up. Or if you have the time, keep going. Okay. This will build trust with yourself. Like, look, I showed up for 15 minutes and look at what I got done. And it helps to prevent burnout. I should just keep going. I should just keep going. The point of the 15-minute formula is to remind your brain that you can have success in small chunks and it doesn't have to look perfect to be done. Okay. So a couple examples, right? If you have a kid who's still napping, like my kids are at school. So this is not my life, but this was my life when my kids were home. And you have 15 minutes during nap. And I remember, oh my goodness, I remember one of the biggest game changers. So if you are like a new mom or like about to like have babies, I thought like nap had to be long. In my head, I was like, yeah, they're gonna nap forever, right? And I like read some book. It was like Wonder Weeks or What to Expect, one of those. And it was like a nap can like literally be 10 minutes for an infant because they're still learning their circadian rhythm. So it could be an hour, but sometimes that 10 minutes is all they get. And I was like, oh my gosh, right? So say you only have that 15 minutes. You're like, all right, I got 15 minutes. I'm gonna go do some dinner prep. So now that piece is done, right? If you're working from home, you have a little bit of time between meetings, right? That's honestly, use it to check your email, use it to do some admin stuff. Sometimes I catch myself because I do this a lot. If I'm in between coaching calls or meetings and I'm waiting and I have like 5 minutes and I'm just sitting at the computer waiting for the Zoom or whatever, what do? I pick up my phone, right? So I have to tell myself, don't pick up your phone. If you have the time, go empty your inbox, go outline the podcast, go just do something. Now, I want to be clear though, this isn't about hustling 24/7. My method is not that. It's just about having intentional time. So if you can get these small, more unfavorable things done in your small chunks, then guess what? At the end of the night, you're not playing catch up. You have a half hour to yourself, right? Where you don't have to check email because you already did it, where you don't have to put the laundry away because you already did it. Use that 15 minutes to be like, I'm just going to reset one room. This is the big one for me when I'm feeling like super overwhelmed. Everything is a mess and there's stuff everywhere, right? When we get in those moments, outer order leads to inner calm. I put that 15-minute timer on and I am like, I'm getting this done. I want to feel that immediate gratification, that relief, that momentum of I got it done. Before I leave you to go do your first 15 minutes, I just want to throw the caveats of things I notice working with moms and I've done myself. Trying to do too much in your 15 minutes is like step one, right? Like one thing. Remind yourself, what is one thing? I'm going to unload my dishes. That is it. Allow it to be enough. And then if you want to do more, but don't make it the requirement. Also, for my friends who struggle with a little bit of executive functioning, neurodivergent, listen to me right now. Switching your tasks halfway through. It can be very easy. And I saw this reel where it was like a mom, like, oh, I'm going to go cook dinner. But then it's like, oh, wait, I have to put this in the trash. Oh, the trash is full. Let me go empty the trash. And now I'm outside. I should hose down right? We spiral a little bit. Remind yourself, this is my one task and say it, my one task for 15 minutes. This is my one task for 15 minutes over and over. Write it on your hand. Like, don't let yourself get distracted with another task because you can say to yourself, I'm going to put this on my next list and I can do this in my next 15-minute block. And this is why 15 minutes is great for friends who have like ADHD and struggle with that because it's such a short amount of time to focus. And if you're finding that that's a struggle as well, go smaller, go to 10 minutes, go to 5 minutes so that you can stay focused on one task at a time. Make sure that you're trying to pick higher impact tasks and not the low impact ones. Oh, I have 15 minutes. I'm just going to scroll, which is fine. I do that too sometimes. But try to do something that's going to take stuff off your plate for later. And then not having a plan, right? If you go in without a plan and you're like, I have 15 minutes, what should I do? The time is going to go and you're going to say, well, this doesn't work. Pre-plan your 15 minutes out. Have that menu so that you don't have to do everything on it, but you can pick one thing from that list. And I just want to remind you, it matters. I know that our brains can be like, oh, watching one video of this course, reading one chapter, like it's not enough. It is enough because over time, it will compound. All right. So, what I want you to do today, I'm giving you some homework, put my bossy pants on. I want you to find one 15-minute pocket. That's it. Pick one task, set a timer, and focus fully. DM me over at A Purpose Driven Mom. Let me know what you got done. Show notes are at apurposedrivenmom.com. So podcast 512. And if you want more of this, go to apurposedrivenmom.com/club where you can join the Purpose Driven Mom Club where I teach this method in depth, or you can go check out the book, The 15-Minute Formula. Have a great day and we'll talk soon.